Joe Markham will do a roll call.
Jake Pendergast.
Here.
Pat Melody. Here. Jeffrey Hall.
Here.
Sarah Lee Morrissey. Pat Patterson.
Here.
David Runyon.
Here.
Reggie Santilli. Stacy Simon. Here. Jack Perez. Here. We have a quorum.
Excellent. Well, a couple of things. Staff will be walking around with microphones if anyone would like to speak. And and I guess that's where we're going to start. So Donna Butler is going to give you a brief introduction, and we're going to see a video of the ECHO program and some of the accomplishments and suggestions that have been made regarding the program.
Mr. Chair, for the record, Sarah Lee Morrissey is here.
Yes, please add to the record that Sarah Lee Morrissey is here.
Well, good evening. Thank you for being here. This is our second listening session for Volusia ECHO. We're excited to hear what you have to say. So we have put together a video that includes actually the ECHO video that lays out everything that we wanted to say tonight. It goes through what the current programs are. It talks about some changes that were proposed that are still on the table. And then at the end, we're going to turn back to you all and hear what you have to say. If you would like to share something, please fill out a yellow comment card. Carmen over there in the corner has them. And she and I will take turns. She'll call them out and we'll walk the mic to you so you don't have to go anywhere and you can speak from your chair. And in some cases, the advisory board may just listen or they may ask you questions so they get better ideas of where you're coming from and what things you'd like to have done. Just a quick introduction of staff. I'm Donna Butler, Community Services Director and over the ECHO program. Carmen Hall back there manages the ECHO program. Jill Markham up there is the ECHO coordinator. Brad Burbaugh is the division director for our Community Ag Center, IFAS. Our attorney back there is Russ Brown. And we also have Sarah Presley. She's from the Growth Management, and she's going to be doing this side on the Forever side. So she's kind of learning how the process works. So with that, we'll dim the lights, I believe, and we will show you the video. Welcome to today's ECHO presentation. Today we're going to give you a brief history of ECHO, show you the ECHO video, go over the ECHO processes for the various grant programs, talk about the recommendations from both the auditor and the advisory committee, and then hear from you with public comments and questions. What is ECHO? Volusia ECHO provides grant funds to finance acquisition, restoration, construction, or improvement of facilities to be used for environmental, cultural, historical, and outdoor recreational purposes. The Volusia ECHO program, generated by a grassroots initiative, resulted from a citizen-approved referendum passed November 7th of 2000. On November 3rd, 2020, Volusia County voters reauthorized the program for another 20 years.
And again, once we got that ECHO funding and we were able to have a building, it really did provide this location and home for us. And so
it was instrumental to have the ECHO funding to be able to continue with our programs and also which preservation is part of our mission as well.
We give credit to the ECHO for being able to provide the assistance to the finance to be able to have such a facility in this community.
These are legacy projects that we, me, everybody who's involved in them have left for the next generation. We have projects across the county that next generation are going to value and love and take care of because we've laid the groundwork as a community. And that's really the really neat thing about ECHO is that it is a community-driven initiative.
In 1998, Volusia County residents and community leaders brought to the County Council a funding idea to enhance environmental, cultural, historic, and outdoor opportunities. Community members identified goals, purposes, and objectives during multiple meetings.
We formed a committee. We went out and did listening sessions around the county and listened to what the people said. If we vote for this, here's what we want you to do. Here's what we want you to spend the money on.
This groundswell of support motivated the County Council to approve a resolution to add Volusia Echo to the 2000 ballot. With this passage, voters agreed to contribute 20 cents on each $1,000 of taxable value toward the fund. Today, the average homeowner pays less than $25 a year for the Echo Fund. The funding is used for the acquisition, restoration, construction, and improvement of environmental, cultural, historic, and outdoor recreation projects throughout the county. Eligible applicants are Volusia County cities, nonprofits, and county departments that meet established criteria. The ECHO Advisory Committee recommends grant awards to the County Council for final approval. The County Council also can direct expenditures for county projects deemed of broad community significance. Since 2001, 229 awards exceeding $88 million have been made. Grantees provided significant matches and assets and cash exceeding $147 million. This brings the total investment to $235 million. Volusia County has a diverse and delicate ecosystem ranging from low beach and marsh areas to high and dry pine forests. Educating the public about our environment is a key factor in maintaining a healthy, sustainable community. Since 2001, ECHO Awards have supported environmental learning centers and education habitats. These facilities teach the public about the importance of maintaining ecosystems while meeting the demands of our growing population. Projects have included the Central Park Environmental Learning Center in Ormond Beach, the Lyonia Environmental Center in Deltona, and the Marine Discovery Center in New Smyrna Beach.
All of us are thinking when we're pie in the sky, we're thinking of money because that's always the first barrier. And so ECHO really helps take that away. Now, as you know, ECHO doesn't provide operational support. What it provides is support for the capital brick and mortar projects. And so for us, when we're going through these planning phases, we'll look at, okay, what are our sources of funding available? And that helps us determine, what's feasible and how do we phase it when. We've gone from seeing, a few thousand a year to seeing well over 30,000 a year. And ECHO has been a big part of that because of having a facility.
Cultural activities improve quality of life and bring the community together to experience the arts. In turn, the arts increase the county's tourism-based economy and encourage redevelopment in our own downtown and urban areas. Museums, theaters, art centers, and community gathering places have received ECHO grants. Some of the more notable projects include the Little Theater of New Smyrna Beach, the Museum of Arts and Science in Daytona Beach, and the African American Museum in DeLand.
When the amphitheater came up, when it was opening was in 2004, that was phase 1. Well, there was a phase 2, and the phase 2 is to construct a new museum, because that is our big dream. Because if you do it once, surely you can do it again. So that is how I feel about the ECHO.
Volusia County is home to over 200 sites on the National Register of Historic Places. They include downtown neighborhoods, individual buildings, archaeological sites, and agricultural and educational districts. ECHO funds have enabled the acquisition, stabilization, or restoration of many of our historic properties. Examples are Lillian Place in Daytona Beach, Athens Theater in DeLand, and the Pioneer Art Settlement in Barberville.
There's very few people that went to school in Volusia County in elementary school that don't remember coming here on a field trip and dipping candles or feeding the animals. So we hear it a lot. People are coming back now with their children and saying, oh, I remember coming here as a kid and I love it here. So I think our impact on the county is probably more than we actually even realize.
In 2010, the Florida Trust for Historic Preservation awarded Volusia County the Outstanding Organization Achievement Award for its commitment to historic preservation through the ECHO program.
Without the ECHO funds, the settlement, I can't even imagine what it would be, because the two buildings that the ECHO funds have helped us with are so important to our existence.
Outdoor recreation is an important facet in the lives of our residents and visitors. Volusia County's abundance of natural resources are an important asset to our extensive and vibrant park system. ECHO funds have been used for trails, parks, sports complexes, dog parks, pools, playgrounds, beach and water access, and many other projects. From Andy Romano Beachfront Park in Ormond Beach to Rob Sullivan Park in DeBary, every area in Volusia County has benefited from ECHO funds. In 2004, the Volusia County Council initiated an annual $1 million commitment to our trails from the ECHO program funds. These dollars are used with state and federal funds for the development of Volusia County's Showcase Trail System.
We are ground zero. We've got on the east side, we have Edgewater, New Smyrna Beach, which will benefit tourism-wise. And then here, DeBary will have that too, because the trail will split. It'll go off to Seminole Lake County from here, and it'll go north to Putnam County from here. So we are well positioned to take advantage of that $20 million investment long-term.
Today, the county's major trail systems are the St. Johns River to Sea Loop and the Coast to Coast Trail. When finished, they will stretch across 108 miles throughout Volusia County. Since 2001, more than $88 million have been awarded to 229 ECHO grant recipients. But the impact goes beyond mere numbers. Nearly a generation ago, civic leaders recognized the need to preserve and enhance our quality of life, not only for the current residents, but for the future generations. Through continuous efforts, the ECHO program has created a distinguished legacy in this county and an unparalleled gift for the community.
It's a fabulous program. It is driven by the community. It's their investment, and they should be very proud of the fact that in 2000 they overwhelmingly supported to tax themselves for this. That's a big deal.
There are 4 ECHO project types. Environmental. ECHO funds support development of environmental learning centers which educate about how lifestyle decisions affect our environment and future sustainability. Volusia County is a diverse and delicate ecosystem ranging from low beach and marsh areas to high and dry pine forests. Cultural. ECHO funds the construction of cultural facilities that play an important role in improving the quality of life for our citizens. The arts increase the county's tourism-based economy and encourage redevelopment in our downtown and urban areas. Historic. Volusia County is home to over 200 sites listed on the National Register of Historic Places. ECHO policies were approved to encourage restoration and acquisition of these endangered facilities. Outdoor recreation. Outdoor recreation, and especially in our parks, plays an important role in improving quality of life. Additionally, our trail system meanders as a linear park throughout Volusia County. The standard ECHO project process. Standard projects have a maximum grant award of $400,000 and require a 1-to-1 match. Mandatory workshops. A representative from the applicant must attend a workshop. Next is the technical completeness application. All applicants are required to submit a complete technical completeness application. Staff will review this application and provide each applicant with a technical review prior to the final application deadline. The final application. All applicants are required to submit a final application. A clean hand search will be completed on each applicant. The clean hands requirement stipulates that the applicant, its officers, and/or significant stakeholders must be in compliance with all Volusia County codes and have no outstanding past due debt with the County of Volusia in order to be eligible to receive an ECHO grant. Site visits and eligibility meeting. The ECHO Advisory Committee shall visit each applicant's project site. It is mandatory that the applicant's representative is in attendance to answer questions. Grant Review Panel Meeting. The ECHO Advisory Committee sits as the grant review panel to review and score all eligible applications. An application must score an average of an 80 or above to be recommended to County Council, pending funding availability. It is mandatory that the applicant's representative is in attendance. The ECHO Advisory Committee makes recommendation for approval or denial to the County Council. The County Council makes a final determination on grant award. Eligibility requirements. The applicant must be a Volusia County government, municipal government in Volusia County, or a not-for-profit 501c3 that meets certain criteria. First, must be incorporated within the state of Volusia and classified as a 501c3, maintained incorporated status for more than 2 years prior to the application deadline, or incorporated with the state of Florida for less than 2 years at the time of the application deadline, but has provided operations in Volusia County for a minimum of 10 years and provided the most recent 5 years of independent certified audits and management letters, or is a registered foreign corporation doing business in the state of Florida with a local group within Volusia County that can provide evidence of public service to Volusia County citizens for the 5-year period prior to the ECHO application deadline. They must also demonstrate 5 years of 501c3 status in its state of incorporation. The applicant must not owe the county any money or have any outstanding code violations. They must have satisfied all administrative requirements of previous grants agreements received from or administered by the County of Volusia. And they must also agree to the match as outlined in the documents. ECHO funds are to be used solely to finance acquisition, restoration, construction, and improvement of environmental, ecological, cultural, historical heritage, and outdoor recreation facilities for public use. Only one application for the same project, facility, complex, or site will be accepted in a single grant cycle. There may be no more than 2 open ECHO grant awards per project site. Projects should not duplicate each other or an existing or planned ECHO-related function in the same area of service. Projects solely for depreciable items with less life expectancy than the required grant agreement period are ineligible. Clean hands. The ECHO staff will conduct a clean hand search prior to determining eligibility. We recommend that applicants request a clean hand search prior to submitting an ECHO grant application. Public access and ownership. The project must be accessible to the public for a period of 40 years from execution of the grant agreement. Public access to the project must be 3 years for a standard grant and 4 years for an exceptional grant. Documentation of ownership or lease must be for at least 40 years. The following are not eligible: only access to the exterior of a building, intended for students, faculty, or staff, intended to augment or support curriculum, multi-use campuses, complexes with no designated parking. The exceptional grant process. A project of paramount and crucial countywide importance provides services to all areas of the county. A maximum of $1.8 million or $600,000 each year for 3 years with a match requirement of 4-to-1. All other parts of the grant process remain the same as the standard grant, including the ECHO workshop, technical completeness application, final application, site visits, eligibility meeting, grant review panel meeting, and final award by the County Council. Exceptional grant examples include Earl Brown Park in DeLand and the Museum of Arts and Sciences in Daytona Beach. Critical Historic Acquisition and/or Stabilization Grant. This program was approved in July 2009 to address the immediate need to acquire and/or stabilize historic buildings outside of the standard grant cycle. The process for this grant is similar to the process used for a standard grant application. The difference is the applicant's responsibility to provide credible evidence of the importance of the historic project, the need for immediate intervention, and the ability to fully support the operations. The maximum award is $600,000 and requires a 1-to-1 match. Direct county expenditure process. Resolution 2001-56 allows for the county council to fund projects by direct county expenditure for county government projects or by grant and aid awards. Resolution 2013-202 states the county council will present direct county expenditures of ECHO funds to the ECHO Advisory Committee for review. Internal audit. On May 11, 2020, the county's internal auditor presented the ECHO internal audit report and made recommendations to the county council. On June 25th and July 30th, 2020, the ECHO Advisory Committee reviewed those recommendations, accepted them, and made recommendations of their own. This presentation lays out both sets of recommendations. Increase the standard grant award from $400,000 to $600,000 annually. The source of that recommendation is from the audit and from the committee. Reduce the percentage of cash match required for nonprofit organizations depending on the nonprofit size. The source, again, was from the audit and the committee. For the cash match, the percentage is reduced from 50% and is dependent on the nonprofit size. The guidelines to determine the size of the nonprofit match, the guidelines of the audit requirements for nonprofits are as follows. The average of the last 3 fiscal years' operating revenues or expenses is used to determine the percentage of cash match that must be provided. If the annual average of the 3 fiscal years completed prior to the application deadline is $500,000 or greater, the applicant must provide 40% of overall match in unencumbered cash or expenditures. If the annual average of the 3 fiscal years completed prior to the application deadline is less than $500,000 and greater than $250,000, the applicant must provide 30% of overall match in unencumbered cash or expenditures. And if the annual average of the 3 fiscal years completed prior to the application deadline is less than $250,000, then the applicant must provide 20% of overall match in unencumbered cash or expenditures. Include language that requires staff internal final completeness review to include if a project has public accessibility regardless of anticipated future phases. The source was the audit. Increase exceptional awards from $1.8 million to $2 million. The $1.8 million is with a distribution of up to $600,000 for up to 3 consecutive years. The change would recommend that $2 million with a distribution over a 3-year period, but doesn't limit the amount per year. This still requires that the exceptional project has a regional impact. Additionally, we would change the match requirements for exceptional awards from 4-to-1 to 1-to-1. Currently, an applicant that would receive $1.8 million would have to provide 4 times that amount, or $7.2 million in match. In the proposed change, they would only have to provide $1 for every dollar requested. For a $1.8 million application, that would be $1.8 million in match. An applicant may only have 3 open projects at one time. The source of this recommendation is the committee. The next recommendation is for a standard 20-year time frame for documentation of undistributed use of property and/or buildings. The current time frame depends on the type of project. A restoration renovation project requires 30 years. Expansion addition projects, 30 years, and new facilities require 40 years of undistributed use of property and/or building sources. The current time frame depends on the type of project. Restoration renovation projects are for 30 years. Expansion and addition projects also 30 years, and new facilities are 40 years. This recommendation would require 20-year time frame from documentation of undistributed use of property and/or buildings. The source is the committee. The public access changed from 4 years from award to 3 years from award for a standard grant. Public access changed from 4 years from the dates of last award to 4 years from initial award for an exceptional grant. Construction documentation requirements were elaborated to ensure projects are ready to move forward if awarded a grant. Source, the committee. Require the business plan, feasibility study, and marketing plans to be specific to Volusia County. Source, committee. Remove the requirement for exceptional projects to be in the top 2 of the regular standard grant cycles. Source, committee. Include language that requires the clean hand search is maintained in the project file. Source, the audit. Require ECHO grant agreements to be executed by the applicant prior to county council approval. If approved, the county council will execute the agreement on the date of approval. Source, the audit and committee. Require that proof of a performance bond naming Volusia County as a co-obligee be submitted before a notice to proceed is issued. Require the Volusia County logo and ECHO logo to appear on the project and applicant website and in all media, print or electronic for the project within 90 days of award. Source, the committee. Include language that any extension requiring more than an additional 365 days beyond the time period will be reviewed only twice a year. Include language that a summary of the quarterly reports will be provided to the ECHO Advisory Committee. If quarterly reports are not submitted or not submitted timely for 2 consecutive quarters, the grantee will be required to attend an ECHO Advisory Committee meeting and provide a status update. Quarterly reports are due on the 15th day after the end of the quarter. Include language that site visit and completion of a monitoring worksheet will occur at least twice a year during the construction phase. Source, audit and committee. Include language that projects will be visited and a completion of a monitoring worksheet will be completed on a tri-annual basis. If there are concerns, a site visit will be completed on an annual basis or more frequently if warranted, until the project receives 3 consecutive clean monitoring reports. Source, audit and committee.
Okay. Am I on? Okay, so now we would really like to hear from you all. For those of you that have filled out a public participation form, Carmen has them. She'll call your name. I'll bring the mic to you, as we said before. If you are sitting here and you decide you want to speak, just run over there and get a form. We'll add you to the pile.
All right, first we have Suzanne Schreiber with Dream Green Volusia.
Hi, I have several things to say. I'll try to get to the point. I appreciate this committee recently supporting the Ormond Scenic Loop and Trail project. It was voted on unanimously based on history for preserving the land on the loop. I do want to say, though, that I am questioning and disappointed in the ECHO Volusia Alliance. There's an article in the paper today that implies that the organizations in the paper supported that project based on the photo on the top of the article. It doesn't say they supported it, but there's a photo with environmental organizations listed. And as the applicant, I'm making it perfectly clear to everyone in this room that they did not support it. What does this have to do with you all? Well, that alliance is perceived to represent the community. They are not speaking for my organization or for me. They don't represent me as a taxpayer. You all have brains. You can all think for yourselves, I would hope, as appointed officials. I express this because the perceived power that alliance has in our community, I would like to know where it's coming from, and I would actually like for the county to step and please say something here. I'm bringing this up because one of your appointed officials is also the chair of that alliance, and I know how hard my organization has worked to get this project that we brought before you, and to have something represented in the newspaper that is completely false, misleading, with the photo on the top and the organizations listed is not okay with me. in addition, I just want to say that I don't want any of the ECHO funds used to perpetuate development. And so that would be something like retention ponds, water storage that helps aid in development, parks, or any, so green infrastructure sounds great, and I want to say I support that, but I don't support green infrastructure in new developments. The developers need to be paying for infrastructure within their own developments. I don't want something perpetuating development. So I, again, thank you for voting the way you did, and I advocated for this program myself with my own organization as well. So thank you all for serving in your role. Thank you.
All right, next we have Joe Hanish.
I have 30 minutes. Oh, 3 minutes? I'll do the short version. All right. All right, I'm not sure if we're supposed to be doing, but I'll do it anyway. Specific lots of land. I looked at 301 Airport Road here across the street from Pine Trails Elementary. It's 3.5 acres. It's for agriculture right now. It's zoned. Hello. All right. All right, and it's up to the river, has riverfront, and it has a road front to Airport Road, and it has like 1,800 feet from the front is already, cleared out, so we don't have to cut any trees for anything there. And I was thinking it could be a community garden. People could go there and, grow food if they want. They could teach. It's right across the street from the school, so maybe an after-school program could be there. I know it's not supposed to be with school, but it could be, private thing. Help teach people grow their own food, fishing maybe as well, and it's of course environmentally friendly, and it adds to the quality of life. So I think learning, getting your hands dirty, literally. Is a good thing, and learning how to grow food and all that stuff. So that's cultural. And as far as history, the dirt and the trees are centuries old there. So I think that's part of it, some part of the history there. And it is outdoors, so it meets all the requirements there, I think. And thank you. Perfect timing. Plenty of time.
All right, Rob Bird.
Good evening. My name is Rob Bird. I live in Ormond by the Sea. I'm the vice chair of the Ormond Scenic Loop and Trail Corridor Management Organization. I'm also a member of the ECHO Volusia Forever Alliance. I wanted first to thank you for holding these listening sessions across the county. I watched last night's session, so I realize that some of what I have to say will be reiterative. So on many points, I'll just endorse the recommendations of the auditor and the advisory committee as outlined in the video tonight. Last spring, an ECHO workshop at the County Council talked about reducing the match threshold to encourage smaller nonprofits to apply for grants. And the tiered match program the video talks about, or some version of it, is a great idea. Transparency and trust have also been issues in the past, so we agree that all ECHO projects should be vetted through the advisory committee and put on the regular agenda before going to the council for final consideration. Also in that connection, that is transparency, we support a regularly updated online dashboard for the advisory committee's work, including the annual audit reports. We'd further agree with the recommendations last evening that the ballot language about construction and improvement of environmental projects should allow for green infrastructure and for projects such as living shorelines with all their scientifically supported practical benefits. Finally, we would also recommend that the committee continue the annual set-aside for trails established in 2004 The video provided a great illustration of the county's trail system, including the Volusia portions of the Coast to Coast Trail and the St. John's River to Sea Loop Trail. Both the River to Sea Trail and the Ormond Scenic Loop and Trail Byway would benefit because some 10 miles of the River to Sea Trail, when completed, will lie along the Scenic Byway. I'd note in closing that between the county and the city of Ormond Beach, the Ormond Scenic Loop and Trail Corridor is greatly enhanced by 5 eco projects. Al Weeks North Shore Park, Argosy Park, Rockefeller Gardens, the historic McDonald House, and the Ormond Memorial Art Museum. We thank you for your good work.
Okay, next we have Donna Craig.
Hi, good evening. My name is Donna Craig and I live in Ormond by the Sea. To begin with, I'd like to congratulate the board. I'd like to congratulate the board for its recent unanimous vote in favor of acquiring the property adjacent to the loop. Should the county council agree with your recommendation, this acquisition will go a long way to protect the loop, the look and feel of Old Florida, which is just one of the reasons most of us live here. The loop adds to the quality of life in this area that is both unique and valuable, and we need to keep it that way. That said, I understand, and it's evidenced by its very name and the video that we just watched. Volusia County's Eco Board concerns itself with environmental, cultural, historic, and outdoor recreation, quality of life issues. Previous ECHO projects include an impressive list of facilities that are used by the citizens of Volusia County for education, entertainment, recreation, and leisure activities. While using these facilities, we can learn about the marine life we have in such abundance here. We can enjoy cultural presentations and sporting events. We can learn about the history of the area, and we can improve ourselves with a variety of physical activities. Once again, quality of life issues, environmental, cultural, historic, and outdoor recreation. These are the things the ECHO Board was tasked with acquiring and maintaining, and those are the things it should continue to pursue. The ECHO Board is not tasked with acquiring and maintaining infrastructure projects or resources. Those are more properly handled by the commercial entities involved, more specifically, developers. We have an opportunity to direct development in this county in a way that our quality of life is maintained, and in a way that those who benefit financially from the development pay their fair share rather than looking to this group for their financing. I hope you agree with this. Thank you.
All right, and next we have Big.
So, hello everybody. So Susie was talking about Save the Loop. So I came here tonight. Now I don't know if any of you are going to open your mouths or not. You all got microphones, but I don't know if you're going to say anything. Princess Patty, you shouldn't shy away. But I thought it was a matching program. And what I read in the newspaper and what I've heard is a lot of gobbledygook about the match. So that's my first question. I have a serious complaint. Whoever the jerk was that set this meeting up, that didn't let us come in the door right there, where I parked all the way down the other end so I'd be next to this door, and I walked all the way around this library to get here. A pain in the neck. I didn't appreciate it. I'm old and I don't like that. So what's the rule? Oh, and Princess Patty, is there going to be $1 million set aside in the future for trails only in southwest Volusia County? Or will there be that $1 million set aside, and will some of the trails actually get over to civilization? Thank you for your time.
Mr. Chair, you want me to
Well, the match certainly has not gone away. The match is one to
He's talking
one.
about the recently approved project, correct? You talking about the recently approved project? Okay.
Well, the match was one to one. There is additional funding that's requested out of the general fund to meet the requirement, right?
No, sir.
There was additional funding.
Sure. So let me walk through the process, and Carmen's got her mic so that maybe we can tag team each other a little bit on the exact numbers. Bear with me if my numbers aren't exactly correct, but I think it was $239,647 that came from park impact fees. 234,647. I was off by one. You got it in front of you? Oh, can I hold it in my hot little hand so I don't further screw up the numbers? All right. So in addition, Dream Green Volusia and which trust was it? North Florida Trust together raised $15,000. I think it's more, but at the time that we received a letter regarding the project, it was $15,000. So the combination of those two dollar amounts was what was requested as a one-to-one ECHO grant match. So those two
Your own park impact fees to match.
ECHO fee, correct.
Normally, I thought that would come from an agency.
Well, but the County of Volusia, Parks and Recreation was the applicant to the ECHO committee. So we used park impact fees, and then, yeah, so approximately. I had a bigger version. Hang on, I got it. So that was 15,000. So the total of the two, I know, but I didn't know I was going to have to read fine print just for you, Big. So 249,647 is that subtotal. The ECHO board decided to match that dollar for dollar. Okay. The remainder, $488,706, was recommended by the ECHO board to the county council to come direct county expenditure from the ECHO funds. So in the video, in the part where I was speaking to the slides, we talked about how you can have a direct county expenditure. Council allowed for that to happen, but that it had to come through the ECHO board back to the council so that there was transparency, that anyone could speak on it that had problems, concerns, support, however they might have felt. So that brings you to the total of $988,000, which is the contracted purchase price.
The only thing I didn't understand was the extra ECHO money at only $488,000.
Yes, sir.
Can Holly Hill or Pictona do the same thing?
They already have. I'll let Carmen answer that.
Oh, is that Carmen Hall?
That is Carmen Hall.
Yeah, I meant
So I don't have the exact numbers for Pictonia in front of me, but they did apply for a regular competitive grant through our ECHO grant cycle last year in 2019, 2020. Correct, and we have not received an application from them at this point. So I'm not sure what exactly they're going to be requesting, but as far as I know, they do plan on going through the competitive grant cycle. I also have one more public comment. And I believe it's Emmy. Is that correct? Emmy Eddy.
Hello, I'm probably not going to be as eloquent as I was the last time I addressed y'all. I don't really have prepared comments. I just wanted to reiterate the interest in community gardens locally as projects that I think would be very valuable to the community. And additionally, and I don't know whether or not this would be under your purview, but potentially, from my understanding, there was a gopher tortoise preserve or sanctuary that was part of the now closed Riverbend Golf Club. And so I was just curious. I know that that is city or county property, so I'd love someone with more knowledge and whatever to look into that. That'd be cute. Love a gopher tortoise. That's it.
All right, any comments or questions from the ECHO Advisory Committee? Oh, I'm sorry, let's go. Do we have anybody that's raising their hand through the go-to meeting that would like to make a 3-minute statement as well? So there's a button that you push on the go-to meeting that allows you to raise your hand. It looks like a hand. And if you'll press that, it'll come up next to your name and we can call on you so you can share your thoughts and concerns as well. Okay, so back to the ECHO Advisory Committee. Anyone with questions or comments back?
Anybody have any new big project?
Yeah, Daytona 2 is coming.
What?
Daytona 2 is coming. It's a pickleball course, and I love it. I love it. Are you playing pickleball? I'm not that way. I used to play tennis, but I know.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the question is the list of the recommendations that were reviewed in the PowerPoint, what the status was of those. And at this point, they are recommendations. We're going through the listening sessions, and then at that point, the committee will take the recommendations and the comments from these listening sessions and make a final recommendation.
And these recommendations, the previous board, which a group of this board was on that previous board, spent a lot of time and heard a lot from applicants and folks in the community about what their concerns were about the process. So it wasn't a quick decision, and there had been a lot of community input, if you will, especially from applicants over the years. And so they finally decided they wanted to do kind of a cleanup, if you will, and make some of those changes. But this board will take those up as well and forward whichever ones they think appropriate. Those that are audit recommendations, though, they're going. So we're not going to go against what our auditor recommended. They're pretty business focused.
Donna, could you, for the benefit of everybody out here, talk about what happens after tonight, the
Sure.
process where we're headed and the timeline? Because
Sure.
I think that would be interesting to people to know what to expect, anticipate.
Okay. So the ECHO committee is on a fast track for these listening sessions. We're doing 2 this week, 2 next week, and then 1 the last week. Shortly, well, we're actually going to be starting our process of trying to gather everyone's thoughts into a document so that we can get like ideas put together, and we'll come back and meet with the committee. I believe it's May 13th, and we'll sit down, have a discussion. There'll obviously still be public participation at that point, so if you have thoughts you want to share. So they'll come up with their ideas of what they'd like to move forward to county council. And then we anticipate having a joint workshop, probably the first meeting in June, June 1st. Yes, June 1st. And so they'll sit down together at the table, if you will, and talk about, what they've would like to recommend to go forward for how the program could be facilitated before. Just to let you know, whatever they decide jointly doesn't have to be for the whole 20 years. I believe that we've redone the process twice before now. So it's not a closed door. If suggestions are made and they're put out there, for example, green infrastructure, there's it seems like a lot of support so far about talking about green infrastructure. I think we're going to have to get some clear definitions of what that means. But maybe it's tried and then people say, this isn't what we thought. I don't know if that's going to happen. But the point is, those things can be readdressed at any time that there's enough community support or board concern to make those kind of changes. So it's not a permanent one-time deal.
When are you going to do the bulk budget?
Well, that depends. And it's really going to be the board's recommendation to council on what they want to do. I told them at their last meeting that they have 2 options. After there's a decision made on what all the rules are, we'll have to put a guidebook together. The normal process starts in the fall. And we have 2 workshops to give availability to anybody that wants to apply. Then there's the technical completeness application. then there's the actual application. So it's a lengthy process. So the board needs to make a decision on what they recommend to council on, do we want to do one, in this fiscal year, or do we want to just wait, get all the new rules settled, make sure the public really understands what all the new rules are, and then start in the fall. Their choice and recommendation will support whatever they choose to do.
Are you putting 2 cents in the mill on the street taxes?
That is not a question for me. You can ask the elected officials that question.
Can I just also comment on, you talked about changes. At the 10-year mark, the first iteration of ECHO is for 20 years. At the 10-year mark, we went back out and did listening, the county council went back out and did listening sessions around the community, first to celebrate what we accomplished in 10 years, and then secondly to say, okay, what next? We had list of projects. List of projects that we had done, that it came out of the first listening sessions in 2000. Actually, I guess it was 2002 when we did the first listening sessions. And we had completed them. I mean, it was remarkable when you looked at those. We had papers up on the walls and people wrote down things, and so we went back out in 10 years and said, what next? And I would think that would be something that comes up here is this is a living program. This is not a program that is by any means a static. I mean, it's a living program, and I think we need to look at it that way. And I can tell you as a board member for ECHO that if y'all have some ideas, you don't have them tonight, send a text message or an email or contact the staff. Actually, it has to be public record, so it's better you go through the county's site. But this is a continuing process, so let us know what you want to see happen from the regulatory process part of it, and what you want to see from how you want your community to develop using ECHO funds, what you think. I mean, Big John harasses me every time I see him about trails, and I keep telling him, we're getting him over here, and he's going to go bicycling with me, right, Big? Okay, all right. I just want to put that out there that.
I think there's only 15 citizens here.
Approximately, yeah. That was about the turnout that we had last night too, and I think we had about 8 folks speak last night. We can give you that exact number.
Okay. My name is Lucy Jackman, and I'm answering your question regarding a new project, just for your information. The Friends of the Ormond Beach Performing Arts Center will be applying for a grant to remodel our lobby and extend and remodel our art gallery. And we're excited about that project, and we hope you'll help us out. I know, I was hoping with my mask on you didn't know it was me. I guess he still knows.
The thing is, she's still really pretty.
I don't want to, I'll let you hold it. Okay. I just wanted to add that for new projects that I hope that there's updates such as water refill stations, fishing line collectors that are at receptacles that are at outdoor things. Something like she just mentioned, there could possibly be a water refill station instead of just a water fountain. Water refill stations are needed countywide. And anywhere that would be out in a public area outside, the doggy bag holders, doggy bags. And this may sound crazy, but restroom facilities are needed in certain areas. So I think it's sometimes taken for granted. So restroom facilities in areas that need them. And for projects that are new coming in, any of those things that I just said could be reviewed.
So I just want to point out, because a couple of people have said something similar. So all those project ideas are fabulous, but they have to have someone that's going to apply for them, construct them, and maintain them. So not that they're not good ideas, but if you can think about it, talking about City of Holly Hill, if you have something that's in a city area, or if you think it's going to be a county amenity, get with county staff, ask them if they'd be willing. We would love to have trail amenities on our showcase trail, and it's something we've talked about for a long time, so that might be a worthwhile application that could come. But there also are probably going to be city partnerships, city and nonprofit partnerships, but the organization that applies has to be able to implement putting those things in and then maintain them.
Just so you know, the number one trail in Bruce County, in spite of northerly, is the beach. And there are no wayfinding signs whatsoever on the beach. And if you're down there, and I don't know if any of you people go to the beach, but it's hard to know where you are sometimes, very hard. And I failed dramatically at this when I was playing government. So it would be good if the County of Volusia would apply to itself again for some kind of wayfinding signs for the beach and historical markers. When the damn shrimp boat took out the plaque for whatever the schooner was in Ormond Beach, right? It took me I'm not sure if it's there yet, but I hope it's there. The plaque should be back up so people will know that's where the schooner rested,
Well, if there are no further comments, we'll bring the meeting to a close. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for being here and sharing. Big. The winner wins.